life and a little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
Can you guys smell me?
No.
No, I can't.
I had to put on the. It's not actually A535, but one of those generic drug A535 rubs, the smelly ones.
Oh, yeah?
You can get the stuff that doesn't smell, but I don't find like it works.
Doesn't work as well.
You
You
need
need
the
the smell.
heaty, smelly
Yeah.
smell. So I had a golf lesson today, and my shoulders were kind of bugging me. So if you get a little that hot, muscular, oozing smell over there.
Smell of an athlete.
You know what? Puffy gave up his sense of smell for the ability
Yeah.
to take a punch anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So I'm all good.
That's right. Did you have you ever heard of Tiger Balm?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the strongest stuff like that.
I think so, yeah.
So we used to use that all the time in football. You buy the Tiger Balm, it's like A535 times about 5. It just
Really?
burns you. And you have to be very careful if you pull a groin.
Oh, yes, you do.
So what's it, loosen up the muscles?
It's like super powerful hot stuff. If you have a muscle
what a bomb
pull or
does?
something, it's a bomb.
It's a bomb. You
It's
know
a
the
bomb.
bomb? Put a bomb on it.
You put the bomb on? Do you know what a bomb is? You ever seen a bomb? Didn't you read the instructions? Well, no one can tell what a bomb's gonna do. They're unpredictable.
So have you ever heard of Tiger Bone?
No, I'm not.
So my Jamaican buddies,
Of course, these guys, man. They led you down some paths.
should I have them on sometime?
I think
Yes,
they'd be fantastic.
I would love that.
So my two Jamaican buddies, who are also on my football team,
Yep.
they one time on a football trip told us about something called Tiger Bone,
Yeah.
which is also a balm that they rubbed on their erect penises.
Yes.
Wow.
That would apparently make them more proficient
Is that right?
sexually.
The lovemaking was better.
Yes. I don't know if it was like a thing that would make them last longer, or it was more intense.
Yeah.
But Tiger Bone.
Wow.
I've searched for it since.
And is it a thing?
I think I looked it up once and it said it was some Chinese herb or wine or something. But
Yeah.
they used to have a little tube of the Tiger Bone.
Nice.
They'd bring it on the
And
football
they swear
tournaments
that
with them.
they used it.
Yeah. Well, but one of them one time got their Tiger Bone and their Tiger Balm mixed up.
Yeah.
And rubbed the Tiger Balm on their tiger.
Oh,
And
that would be terrible.
Oh yeah, because this would happen. I would pull groins all the time, and if you got the Tiger Balm too close to your
Yep. Place of
Yeah.
business.
Junk.
Jimmy and Little Jimmy's,
Yes.
Yes.
if you got it on the two Little Jimmy's,
Yeah.
or even a little side of little Jimmy,
Yeah.
then it was excruciating.
Like real bad. Eh?
Oh no, it was like you felt like you were burning a hole in your
Now,
package.
could you just put some water on it and be fine?
No,
you
no.
were done.
You
need to-
had to ride it out?
Yeah, it was powerful stuff.
You know, I'm heading down to the Dominican at the end of May there, so I'll see if I get some of that Tiger Bone for you. They probably have it down there.
Yeah. From the islands.
No, I'm serious.
And where,
Would
are
you
you
try-
going with your lady?
I'm going with my lady, yeah.
You try the Tiger Bone?
I might try the Tiger Bone. I never heard of it.
Maybe we could get Tiger Bone to sponsor the podcast.
We're all sitting here with boners.
So I just Googled Tiger Bone and I clicked on the website, and Bell Media will not let me access the website. So
I think that's
Well,
the
listen, Bell
description says
Media,
it does
that's
boost
BS.
sexual vigor. So
yeah, that's
Legit.
pretty good.
Tiger Bone.
I don't know if I told you, one of my Jamaican buddies came to see my dad in the hospital.
Yep.
And so years and years ago, I used to live in my parents' condo in Ottawa. So in my first few years of university, it was a great situation because they'd basically retired and moved to the cottage. And they had this condo that was 10 minutes from Carleton. So I basically lived there and milked it as long as I possibly could. And my friends would always crash there because it was close to downtown. And one of my Jamaican buddies came one night and crashed there and threw up in the middle. He slept on the living room floor and he threw up in the middle of the living room floor.
Oh, come
And was so drunk that he didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And so by the time I woke up the next day, it was like ingrained in the carpet.
yeah, yeah.
And my dad was, God love him, he was a very neat guy. So he liked
A little particular about
so I didn't know what
things.
to do. So I tried whatever to get out of the carpet, and I ended up wearing down the carpet like you do when you try to clean too hard.
Yeah.
And so there was this perfect circular, exactly in the middle of the living room, stain in the carpet. So I did what a good guy should do, and I took the fall for it.
Yeah.
I told him I spilt a pop.
Okay.
And so my Jamaican buddy comes.
Was
to
your
s-
dad pissed?
Oh yeah, really pissed, and it's still it's still there right now.
They never
they've never changed the carpet. That's 25 years ago or
I
something.
think he just kept it there so you'd feel shame every time you saw it.
Well, it's funny you use that word because my Jamaican buddy has always told me, he goes, and I'm going to try and imitate him. I'm not trying to imitate Jamaican. It's just the way this particular guy talks.
Okay.
Named Shaw, and he's like, man, every time I drive by your condo, I feel shame. So he goes to see my dad, and he had a really he was friends with my dad. He had a really nice visit with my dad, and at the end he kissed him on the forehead and left, and we went out in the hall, and then he said, oh, I gotta go back. And he goes back in, and he says, Mr. Duthie, I have to tell you something. 25 years ago, I puked on your carpet, and James took the fall for it. And every time I drive past your condo, I feel shame. And my dad smiled and said, it's okay, Dave, I forgive you.
That's good.
And Dave's like, now my conscience is clear.
Had to get that out.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Did you go back to your dad and look, pretty good guy right here?
I know, my dad was pretty proud of me for that. He's like, why didn't you tell me that, James, all the years? I said, I took the heat, because that's what I do. We got a lot for you today. A lot of segments. We have things I saw on Twitter making a comeback.
Nice.
Puffy's Hypotheticals, A-Hole or A-OK. Fandom is ahead. Yes. iDrinkCoffee.com will make an appearance for you. Let's start with the week that was.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duthie and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
So this is one of those awkward things where we're taping the pod on a Wednesday this week.
Yep.
And it's kind of weird because all you guys will be listening to it Friday or Saturday, and we have the biggest night of Puffy's life is happening tonight.
God, it's all happening.
And so it's all going to feel dated. Unless we maybe can get a prediction from Puffy, and then you guys can weigh it in because you'll know the answers by the time we get there. Puffy, of course, is Joe Toronto.
I love the city.
And on this night, Leafs play Game 7, Raptors play Game 5, TFC plays the CONCACAF
Champions League Second
final.
Leg.
Have to win 2-0 or 3-1 or whatever. The Jays
3-2
also play.
works.
3-2 would also work, yes. And the Jays also
play the Red Sox, and the Marlies play the Comets.
Wow.
Right, and they can wrap up a series there.
I believe that might be the case.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you quickly. You can have one of these.
Toronto FC, as long as it's a win that wins them the title.
Right. So you'll take that over the Leafs winning Game 7.
Wow.
Toronto FC's, that's a championship, guaranteed championship.
That's a good point.
Biggest tournament you can win in the area. It's massive. It's huge.
If I give you two, will you take the Leafs?
I would take the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Lester, I know you're not a Leafs fan, but if you could take one of those.
Yes, I would. You know what's funny? I would have said Leafs because obviously it's a do or die game. But I'm going to go with Puffy because listen, the Leafs are really good, but listen, they're not supposed to be where they are right now. Well, they're supposed to make the playoffs, but if you look at the plan that they've laid out, this team has still got a couple of years left to really compete. So let's take the guaranteed championship.
I'm taking the Jays. I think it's an important late April game.
Center. I actually, believe it or not, I think last night's was a big win with Granderson hitting that home run. It's going to make dividends.
April baseball is the worst. Stoff, do you have a pick here? And what you want?
Yeah, I think I would personally take the Leafs, but Puffy's right. It is. I think the hardest thing would be to get back to that championship game in the CONCACAF. So.
Isn't it something that it's probably the biggest game in TFC history, and it's going to be completely buried?
Not by me, James.
Not by soccer fans, but by the casual fan.
But I mean, the casual fan also, I don't think would be that into it either.
But it's timing of year, though. In December when they played MLS Cup Final, nothing else was going on, and so everybody was into it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Leafs, if they win tonight, which would be amazing, obviously I want them to win, but they then play Tampa. And if they beat Tampa, they're probably going to have to play Pittsburgh. If they beat Pittsburgh, they got to play Nashville. They have to beat basically the 4 of the top 5 teams in the league to win the Cup. I mean,
listen,
I'd love for them to do it, but if it was Game 7 of the Cup Final, I would choose the Leafs. But
I'll say this. I mean, I think if they do get by Boston, I think their fortunes turn up. I think they could beat Tampa. I do think they could beat Pittsburgh. Do I think they could beat any of those teams in the East? No. In the West, rather, no. But I'll say this as well. All my life, I've never known the Leafs in a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be something.
Now, if they've lost by the time everybody's listening to this, they're hitting that little 15-second fast forward.
But I also picked.
I do
Boston.
think they're going to win, though.
I also picked Boston.
The Boston Bruins are heading on to meet the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Raptor fans, pack your bag. You're going to Washington to try and close it out.
Heartbreak once again from the penalty spot for Toronto FC.
I wanted to tell you about my Leafs experience during the series, which has been interesting. First of all, it was surreal on Monday being down. We were doing the panel down from Maple Leaf Square after just the horrific thing that happened in northern Toronto on Monday. We spent all of last week doing a memorial to Humboldt and Jonathan and my dad, and I don't want to spend the entire podcast on that. I don't want this to become the morning podcast, but again, our hearts go out to everybody. Ken Lamb, you are a hero. Constable Ken Lamb.
My God.
That's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It was fantastic.
And especially in an era when cops are getting, especially in the States, getting, every video we see is shooting when they shouldn't have shot.
Yes.
But to Anne-Marie D'Amico, Dorothy Sewell, Chul Min, Eddie Kang, Munir Abed Al-Najjar, those are the only victims who've been identified so far.
And their families, of course.
Yeah.
And also the people that were just down there and witnessed all that and helped out. I grew up that area. That was I'd be down there all the time when I was a kid. So
it's crazy.
It was weird seeing it.
It's crazy.
The street,
So we're down there doing our hits, and that was a bizarre thing because, like I said about being at the Masters when the other stuff was happening, it didn't feel right that you're analyzing hockey 2 hours after this has happened, and all the people behind you, they're young people, they're so keyed up for a big game, they're yelling and screaming. It was just weird. They blocked off all the roads around there because at that point we didn't know the motivation of what this was and thought it could have been part of something larger. So it was very strange. I thought the Leafs handled it well. The league handled it well. It was the right thing to do, I think, to play the game. The city needed something and some sort of distraction. But so personally, we sit up in the press box, and the seats were sort of split. So I'll sit one period next to Bob, who's at one end of the press box with his son Sean and Masters Nation. The other end of the press box is O-Dog, Marty, myself, and our producer Bill Dotson.
Yep.
We sit right in front of where Cam Neely, Sweeney, I think Bob Asenza is also up there, the goaltending coach of the Bruins. They are like that. That's not what. It's not like Lou and Shanahan who are quiet in their box. Yeah. These guys go nuts. Especially they're screaming at their players, and you hear it all.
Yeah.
And so you have it's so fun because I'm completely neutral.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
No.
That night I wanted Toronto to win badly for the city, but I could care less.
Yeah.
And Bill Dodson, our producer, is one of the biggest Bruins fans you will ever meet.
Yeah.
He literally wears it on his Billy has a big heart, and he cares about the Bruins the way, I don't know, the way you've cared when you were 16, 18, 20.
Yeah.
Like he's incredibly passionate. And O-Dog is an incredibly passionate Leafs fan, which makes no sense. I don't know if I said this last week. O is the only hockey player I've ever met who he would be playing in the NHL for the Carolina Hurricanes, and when they got knocked out, he would come home and cheer for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's because everyone, when they get to the NHL, they completely lose that fandom. They it's a profession, it's 100%. Job.
Yep.
And he's like a super fan, from just Woodbridge.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. Nathan McKinnon was a perfect example. Grew up loving Colorado.
Yeah.
And Matt Duchene, when they got drafted by Colorado, these guys were like, oh my God, drafted by my favorite team. And 2 years later, you talk to them and they're like, you know what I mean? It becomes a business quickly. Not that they're not passionate hockey players.
I actually really like that about O. That he's
I love it too.
I think it's great.
But he's more authentic, right?
But last year,
I think he obviously is very passionate about it. It's great.
I think it's fantastic. Last year, one of the journalists in the press box, O pumped his fist and yelled when the Leafs scored.
Yeah.
And there is this old rule you're taught in journalism, no cheering in the press box.
Sure.
And someone got very angry with him.
Yeah.
And O doesn't take people getting angry with him too well.
No.
So he shot right back. And so anyway, I have Billy on one side, who's just screaming at the refs at every call that goes Leaf. Billy's a professional, so he does it quietly, but it's like like that every time. And then O on the other side, you can hear Cam Neely behind yelling at his players. It was one of the most amusing nights I've had.
I would
in a
like
long
to see
time.
the Leafs box, up it up a little bit. You know, like Lou Lamoriello literally had zero reaction.
I know.
Do you actually care?
I think that's one of my favorite my favorite things is when they cut away to emotional GMs or whatever in the press box. That's a very, I don't like it when they cut away to, in the NCAA tournaments, they'll cut away to wives endlessly or whatever, the coach's wife. That sometimes gets overplayed. Or remember in the old days, Kurt Warner, they used to show his wife after every completion or incompletion.
She got shown more than the players.
But anyway, that was highly amusing, and we'll see what happens in Game 7. Well, I guess you already know what happens in Game 7 tonight. So
tonight there could be punches thrown in the green.
Oh, I know it's good. Always
shake my hand.
So after the Leafs win, Billy was really upset about the non-interference call on the empty net goal, and so reaches out his hand at the end of the game to shake Billy's hand.
Shake my hand.
It took Billy about a minute, but he did it.
All right.
We were talking about the tragedy in Toronto. There's been a lot of. April 2018 cannot end fast enough. Avicii passes away this week, and we dug out Lester performing in, I think it was Graveyard Groove.
This is
what band was
the
it?
Funk Masters.
It's a duo performance with myself and my good friend Michael Acapenti.
Michael Acapenti,
the Boy Wonder.
He's the Boy Wonder.
No, he's not the Boy.
It's not the Boy Wonder. I swear, I thought.
Oh, he's Ray Ferraro's brother.
No.
The last name, James.
All right. That was a maiden name. Ferraro was a maiden name. So you did this. What bar was it?
This was a performance at the Don Mills Beer Market many years ago. But it just occurred to me. I mean, it's obviously a guitar-driven song, believe it or not. I see it as that, and it just occurred to me it would be nice to do a nice acoustic version of it. So here
was Lester we found on YouTube doing Avicii. You see, I would throw my panties on the stage if I was there.
You could be country. You ever think about country there?
It's funny. I when that song first came out, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, is that you?" Because they say that a lot of people think that my voice is the similar timbre to the singer whose name escapes me right now.
Oh, so Avicii didn't sing that song?
No. He produced it. And
there's a few people I heard saying "Oh, I really loved his voice." I'm like,
but why wouldn't you get would it say Avicii with whoever?
I'm not sure.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they didn't.
You also sound a little bit like who's the Hootie and the Blowfish guy on those songs?
Darius Rucker.
Yeah, Darius Rucker.
Take that
you get a little Darius Rucker in there. I only want to be with you.
I think you could.
And Bobby's so cool. You see, I couldn't when I heard the news about Avicii. All I could think of was that Mike Posner song.
Posner song.
I took a pill in Ibiza. Show Avicii I was cool.
Well,
you know that song?
Yeah, great song.
I couldn't think of the Avicii song. So,
yeah, brother.
The DJs are big. Like my son, Avicii was one of his favorite guys. The new generation, they're into the DJs.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
those guys are like the rock stars.
There's a guy named DJ Ski.
Yep.
Who's part of the fandom guy. He's one of the investors, I think, in fandom.
Yep.
And I didn't really know DJ Ski, but Blair, my buddy and the guys at fandom, introduced me to him, and he's a big deal.
Is he?
And he hangs with all the celeb athletes and stuff. Like he did DJ'd at the Super Bowl. And now I follow him on Instagram, and he's everywhere.
Is he?
Like if there's a party to be had, there's DJ Skis doing his thing somewhere.
Thing, though. I think
it's a good life, eh? The DJ life,
like a very good life, but a little too good. I think it would be difficult to handle.
I saw there's a DJ thing I wanted to share with you guys on things that I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pics, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes, all of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
I can't play the sound for this because the sound is just basically club sound that drowns out everything.
Yeah.
But there's a great thing going around on Twitter of this incredibly drunk girl.
Yeah.
And I guess the DJ or whoever is with him in the booth started shooting it on his camera. She basically, she's so drunk, she thinks the DJ booth is the bar.
Yeah.
And she's up there going, I need 4 Zambucas.
That's the best.
4 Zambucas.
Drinking Zambuca.
Like, what's your name? My name's Meg. I need 4 Zambucas. Finally, the guy, after about 40 seconds, this is the DJ booth.
He's just pointing over to the bar.
The real reason I wanted to do things that I saw on Twitter this week is, I don't know if you guys saw the thing I posted from this past week's edition of 60 Minutes.
The guy with the Google hat.
So I'll set it up for you first, Lester.
Yes.
So
see it.
this kid's name is Arnav Kapoor. He's a student at MIT Media Lab. So he's probably a geniac.
Yeah.
He has basically invented a system to surf the internet with your mind.
That's right, I did see this.
So he's got this little, I'll paint the picture for you because we're going to play the clip from 60 Minutes. He's got this gizmo on his head. Basically, it looks like some sort of thing down the side of his head with a microphone kind of thing. Well, there's no microphone. Just this plastic gizmo he attaches to his head. And here's him being interviewed on 60 Minutes.
What is 45,689 divided by 67?
Sure.
He silently asks the computer and then hears the answer through vibrations transmitted through his skull and into his inner ear.
6, 8, 1.9, 2, 5.
Exactly right. One more. What's the largest city in Bulgaria, and what is the population? The screen shows how long it takes the computer to read the words that he's saying to himself.
Sofia, 1.21 million.
That is correct. You just Googled that.
I did.
You could be an expert in any subject.
Mm-hmm.
You have the entire internet in your head.
That's the idea.
But now this is basically just saying that you don't have to be smart anymore. You just have to wear one of these things on your
Puffy,
head.
isn't this the greatest break we've ever had?
This might be a bit of an equalizer.
We are back, baby.
You know what? Listen, I hear this story, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. There's a show called Black Mirror.
Yes, some dark British show.
It's a dark British show, and basically the premise around, there's a whole bunch of different stories, but the basic premise, as far as I'm concerned, is that technology has gone too far,
right,
in certain areas. So there's a story, for example, of a dating site. You go on it, and it not only selects the person for you, it tells you how long you have to be with that person.
Oh, so what do you mean when you say have to be? You mean
like it could go
how long you're going to
tap, and you go. Could be 6 months.
Oh, I thought you meant
hours.
like.
Oh, how long? Yeah.
With or without Tiger Bomb? Tiger Bone.
Tiger Bone, yes. No.
You don't want Tiger Bomb.
Yes. No, you don't.
Everyone's just screaming.
There's a premise, and there's lots of different weird stories. But
we're going there, aren't we?
We are close.
Okay, but I watched this, and I for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this has to be fake. He's got some microphone implanted. Because how is it possible for your brain to communicate a thought outside your brain to a machine? That's not possible. But it's 60 Minutes, so obviously they did their background. There's not some dude in the next room.
But I mean, he also
whispering
could
the
have
answers.
just known the capital of.
No, well, they're throwing random questions out there, aren't they?
They don't seem that difficult.
It does seem impossible to me, though.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know. These guys are really smart.
Who knows?
I was thinking though, if you attached it to say Puffy's head, it would go like this. It would be, what is the capital of Liberia and the population? Horn.
Redtube.com.
Horn.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll figure that one out.
Wow. Hey, listen.
What is the square root of pi?
The thing is,
divided by 792? Orgy.
The worst part would be that I'd have all the spelling errors in the Google. So it would be the wrong freaking thing. Wow. Like, how do you spell Bulgaria?
Yeah, your brain on the other side, you have to have a contraption that does spell check.
Man.
Things that I saw on Twitter is brought to you by idrinkcoffee.com.
Middle of the morning, can't keep keep my eyes open, cause I got to have a cup of java. I got to have a cup of java. So I better log on. To I drink coffee, idrinkcoffee.com.
Go on to idrinkcoffee.com. Get all your coffee needs.
idrinkcoffee.com.
Fooled me 3 weeks in a row now.
You know, I'll edit that so it doesn't.
No, I want it. I'm the one who can edit. Smart. You don't have to go back to your funky music studio.
That's a good point.
I'll just shut up.
idrinkcoffee.com.
You sound so satisfied there. You sound like you're smoking a cigarette in bed.
idrinkcoffee.com. idrinkcoffee.com.
Like he's the owner of the place.
Let's do some fandom, why don't we? Fandom was fun this week because we kind of had 2 questions, and I thought the people did an excellent job answering all of the questions. We'd had to double it up because I screwed up the week before, and so the first question I'll get to our fresh question from last week first, and then I'll get to the leftover question. We asked last week if you would be okay with a guy on your team knocking one of the best players of the other team out with a dirty hit. If that was what it took for you to go on and win a championship, would that be good enough for you? C-Bro87, you play for keeps in the Stanley Cup playoffs. If you can't handle it, play flag football. Sounds like it might have been a shot at Jimmy. B-Fits222, the cup doesn't count any less if you beat the Bruins without Marchand or the Penguins without Crosby. Championships are hard to win either way. Give me any advantage I can get.
Agreed.
By the way, a lot of answers from people who've already won. I'm trying to pick some from others who haven't won. Matt Snook, the primal part of me loves seeing teams goon it up, but you're going out of your way to take out a player. It leads to a dark road, i.e. Bertuzzi sucker punching Steve Moore. Well thought out, Matt Snook. Adam, there's no need to start throwing puffy hits. That's what he's called them now because you were in favor of this.
Wow.
Puffy hits. But anything dirty needs to be penalized. Peros has to toss on his hazard gear, rubber boots and all, and wade right into it. George Peros he's talking about. Yep. I'd be disappointed if Rod Baby had resort to dirty tactics to win the ladies. Lord Stanley's mug should be shown the same respect, drive, determination, and a healthy dose of serious Leicester work ethic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Solid job, Adam. You're in contention. Jord and Eshane. Jordan Deshane? Jordan
Deshane.
Oh, Jordan Deshane.
Maybe get one of those Google hats on them.
How come I'm looking at it and you figured it out, and I had to look at it 3 times? It's the and that got me. I thought it was like a couple. Hey, there's George and Deshane. No, and Eshane. Taking out a guy isn't a problem with me. Doing it dirty doesn't feel right. It takes away from the glory of the handshake line and staring at the pest as he skates off to the locker room for the last time this year. I thought that was quite eloquently put. Better way to get revenge. A lot of serious Leicester type answers here.
Serious Leicester.
Kane Hidian, 23, had to agree with Sirius Leicester and ask, what's the quality of my win? Want to beat the best at their best? Besides, you don't want to go for it tit for tat and risk losing one of your best on a dirty play.
The conscience of the podcast.
Janet Crosscheck. As soon as I went to click yes, the Sirius Leicester played in my mind. Now I can't condone that.
Serious Leicester.
You're getting to people.
Yeah. Wow. Leicester is infiltrating.
And
people.
Brooks BK says, I even tried to do it in beer league. He's just a dirty bastard. The question,
that's a winner, James.
The holdover from 2 weeks ago was, would you rather have one green jacket or win all 3 of the other majors? Neil YXE. I live in Saskatchewan. I already have a green jacket. Hashtag Riderville. Sam the Sea Clam. I love these names. Augusta baby. Boom. Yep. B-Fits222, he's back again. Give me the Masters. Patrick Reed has become a celebrity going on Jimmy Fallon and sitting courtside. Nobody in the outside world cares about the other 3 majors.
Agreed.
And Jordan and Deshane. Jordan Deshane is back, and that's why this person's going to win a book. Because 2 good answers on 2 separate questions. Give me the Masters, keep your flat money. Winning the most noteworthy tournament would definitely give me my biggest wish, like being able to appear on Rubber Boots 3 times or the Bobcast once. Sorry, no comparison. Was that a shot at the end?
That might be.
Sure.
But I think it was still clever. So, Jordan Deshay,
Jordan Deshay.
you're going to win the book. So write us on Twitter.
So is he getting 2 books?
No, I can give one to one of those other guys.
Yeah.
Who else? What other one did you like? Did you like, what else did you like? Did you like the one about the guy going off and staring the guy in the face?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Or did you like the one with all the references to the podcast?
Yeah, one of the Sirius Lester's ones.
Yeah, he's Sirius Lester.
Thank you,
There's
Stoff.
several of them.
Somebody's sticking up for me in here.
What's the quality of my win?
All right. I like that one.
Kane Hidian 23. Write us up and we'll send you a book as well. This week's question. So, gossip news from the New York Post is that Lindsey Vohn's new man, or the one she's targeting, I didn't actually read the article, I just read the headline, but it sounds like they're an item. PK Subban.
Really?
And Lindsey Vonn.
Wow.
So there's a variety of questions we could have done here.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, who breaks up with who first would be an interesting question. But then we thought we'd tie it in to the Predators. And we were going to do it the dirty way. Puffy, of course, came up with the dirty way question, right? Which was, who would you rather have who would you rather join in a threesome?
Yes.
PK Subban and Lindsey Vonn, Mike Fisher, Carrie Underwood.
Wow.
Now,
That's a great
Mike
question.
Fisher and Carrie Underwood would never have you. They're very religious Christians.
So they say.
But we softened it up a little bit for fandom. Who would you rather hang out in a hot tub with? So you can take it wherever you want. There.
Yeah.
PK Subban and Lindsey Vonn, Mike Fisher and Carrie Underwood.
Wow.
Who would you rather hang in the hot tub with?
Wow.
Who's in the hot tub?
I thought you were going to say for sure, is Lindsay going to go back? That's what I thought you were going to say. But
What do you mean?
Well, she Tiger.
Yeah.
Now PK. Once you go black.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
I know.
I don't know. What do I
How
know?
come the black guy always takes it racist on our podcast?
I'm not taking it racist.
I'm not
taking it
comfortable with
racist.
the
Not racist. Takes it to race.
To race? Well, I'm not taking it to race per se, but obviously.
Are you feeling you have a shot? Is that the idea of this?
I like
thing?
No.
That's probably true.
No.
Better chance.
No. I'm just saying that. Not that I expect. I mean, I suppose I just thinking about the question or thinking about that. I mean, the obvious thing to me is that her last major significant boyfriend was Tiger.
Yeah,
was Tiger.
I know if she heard you sing Avicii, you would be in because I was in.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
I had my tiger bone ready.
I drink coffee.
Yes, you do, Lester. Yes, you do.
Okay, so what's your answer quickly?
I would rather just for the hockey. I want to talk to PK about what happened in Montreal, so I'm going with PK and Lindsey Vonn.
Okay, Puff.
I think I would go with Lindsey Vonn and PK Subban.
Yeah, I think
they'd be more fun.
Probably.
Fish is,
although Fish is an underrated, funny guy.
Is he?
I used to know Fish really well when he was with the Senators. I don't know him well now. I think he got mad at me once when I used to make a lot of Carrie Underwood comments when she appeared in the air when they first started
Hopefully
dating.
he doesn't listen to this podcast. I don't think it's going to improve your friendship.
No, it's just that I would love Carrie Underwood. So every time she came on, like when I was doing highlights or whatever, I'd make a little comment. And I'm not sure. Like I talked to Fish last year at the Stanley Cup Final. He was fine, but I think he might have unfollowed me on Twitter or something. But Fish and I were close, and Fish was very, very funny. I shouldn't say close. That's a stretch, and I'm not. I hate when you
had a good relationship.
I hate it when reporters over exaggerate the relationship.
Would you have dinner together?
No, but he would tell me like I talked to him a lot about stuff, and like if I were going to Ottawa and I'm like, hey, it's Friday night, where do I need to go? I got a couple buddies in Ottawa. He would be the guy I would text who would tell me. So, so Fish had a really funny comment when I thought, you know how the Leafs get all the fans everywhere when they go to opposing buildings like Ottawa. He had a clip on SportsCenter once before a pregame against the Leafs where he said, hopefully we can score early and take the crowd out of it. For a home game.
That's pretty good.
Which I thought. Fish is underrated funny, and I like Carrie Underwood, but I think PK and Lindsay would probably be more entertaining.
You know what I'm going to say? I thought about my answer a little more carefully. I'm actually going to change my answer because I think I'm going to go with Carrie and Mike only because it'd be great to just sit there in the hot tub and sing some tunes.
Oh, you guys would be fantastic together.
Imagine that. Next thing you know, I'm on the road with her singing backup.
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a...
Yeah, maybe you can...
Stoff?
I'm going to go PK Vonn because I think that's a better couple name than Underfish.
Wow. Look at you.
It's all about the name.
It's all bad. He takes advantage of going last, eh?
Yeah.
He sits there and he thinks about it.
Yeah, I Google it in my brain for a while. Get the spell check
Puts on his
going.
Google machine.
He's also just damn smarter than us.
That's true.
I think we have to come to that
Very
conclusion.
quick-witted.
So go on to Fandom, which is now available for Android, and they're doing some work with IBM, by the way, to spruce everything up. So it's kind of a shell version right now, but within a couple of months, Fandom will be running hard.
Humming.
It'll be humming. Let's keep the segment train going here with a little thing we call Puffy's Hypotheticals.
Puffy's hypotheticals are messing with my mind. Puffy's hypotheticals, what's it gonna be this time? Puffy's hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. Puffy's hypotheticals,
I'm going to start this out because I don't want Puffy to seem like a shameless self-promoter. Puffy's his film debut is out, Kodachrome.
Well, it was my debut, but it's my most recent
debut.
work.
What was your other film?
I've been in a couple other things.
What have you been in?
I was in a short film called Groomed.
Groomed?
Yeah.
What was that about?
Was
that your
about
same
two
buddy?
guys getting married.
Same guy.
His brother. It was his brother, Joseph.
That was a manscaping.
And what did you play? What did you play in that?
I played an attractive man on a date in a restaurant.
People become more attractive because they're unavailable.
It's true. I had no shot with him while I was single.
I didn't have a speaking part, but I was a featured extra. What they call this?
And what was the other one you were in?
Maybe it was Kodachrome. I can't remember. I swear I've been in someone else's film, but I don't.
You haven't had a speaking part, like
no, they don't. They don't trust me with the talkie quite yet.
Goon 2, very popular on planes and Netflix
I remember
now.
You were talking about that for a while.
You thought I was going to be a minor
role. And I thought it was a very minor, maybe like a one scene thing, but no, you were
30 lines or something along that way.
Nice.
Featured.
So Kodachrome you were supposed to be in, but you ended up on the cutting room floor.
I did get cut, yes.
But the reviews for Kodachrome, which is a Jason Sudeikis movie directed by your friend
Mark Razzo,
and it is getting rave reviews.
He was actually on the Cinephile podcast with Adnan Virk.
Ah, yes, our good buddy.
In-depth interview.
Our second favorite Adnan Virk to mini Adnan Virk.
Exactly. We do love mini Adnan Virk.
We hope to see him again at the Cup final.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be there. Pittsburgh he'll be there.
So he's doing.
So it's doing great. Yeah, he's all the reviews have been sensational for the work, and it's a great movie. I mean, it's on Netflix starting last Friday. It's in theaters too in select cities.
All right, very nice. So you have a film-related
film-related question.
Puffy's Hypotheticals.
So it's, would you rather have a small part in an Oscar-worthy film, like Kodachrome, or the lead in a middling movie that you get good reviews in, but the movie is not well-received?
That is good, but it's a Hollywood, a big time Hollywood production.
It's a big time Hollywood production. You are good in it, but the movie is not well.
So in the first one, how many am I getting?
You're getting about 10 lines. You're not
on the poster. Your name's not on the poster,
but you're probably like the 7th lead. So I mean, like, you're a character. You have a name in the credits.
Right. If people see you in the bar, they will say, "Oh, Puffy, you were in. You were that guy in Kodachrome with the tiger bomb."
With the tiger bomb. Yeah.
But the other one, you are the guy. You're the face on the poster.
Yeah, it's your movie,
and you get decent reviews, but the movie just kind of disappears. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. Wow, that is really good. That is really ego versus. I'm going to take the film that wins the Oscar because I think that can launch you into other things. Even though it was a smaller part, you can always say, "Hey, I was in Schindler's List, I was his, baker." Or whatever. So I'm going to think that's going to launch me, and also I will get the Oscar made, even though I probably wouldn't get one.
Yeah, like it's a big enough part that you are invited to the Oscar ceremony.
Yeah, I would be there. Not on stage, though. You probably don't get on stage with the cast.
No, I think they only bring the producers out for that.
But sometimes the cast will run up there. What are you taking, Puff?
I think I'm going to go with the middling project that I get good reviews in.
Well, that would probably.
'Cause I think I'll get more money for that.
Yeah, and you haven't bombed, so people say, "Hey, Puffy was."
I'll get another opportunity. Maybe I'll get in a movie with The Rock.
Probably Lester.
I will concur that you take the middling role. I mean, unfortunately,
The middling film?
The middling film. Sorry,
Okay,
yes.
you want to be the star.
So yeah, I want to be the star in a decent movie, but my skills are recognized, and I think if you're in the Academy Award-winning film, you're going to get buried by the fact that there's lead actors. Now, let me say this, and this comes to something that you don't know about me. I am in an Academy Award-winning film.
Really?
Come on.
I am.
What is it?
Chicago.
You're in Chicago?
I'm in Chicago. Yes, I am.
The musical.
The musical.
With like Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Catherine Zeta-Jones. I touched Catherine Zeta-Jones' hand. Like butter. Like butter.
You mean in the film you touch your hand?
No, not in the film.
What are you in the film?
I am a saxophone player. I'm a special skills extra. So me and a couple of my friends are in that movie.
Can we see you?
Yes, you can see me. It's very brief, but you can see me.
Like a couple seconds?
Not even a couple seconds. It's maybe a couple of frames, but I'm definitely prominent.
When you said you got to touch your hand, what did you do there? What did that happen?
This is the beginning of the movie when she does a song called All That Jazz. He has to get up onto a stand.
And all that jazz I'm gonna...
So I was sitting in front of her, and she was on the floor, and she put out her hand for me to help her up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she look at you at all?
She looked at me. Oh.
And did you? Yeah.
Happening. Renee Zellweger is in that film. So nice. Hi, I'm Renee. Nice to meet you.
Really?
Looking forward to working with you. It was great. Tay Diggs is in the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Queen Latifah is in the movie. I met Queen Latifah.
When Renee Zellweger said hi, did you do the lame, you had me at hello?
No, I did not.
That would have been good, James. That would have been good.
No way. That would have been. It would have been over by then.
No.
There's no way. I think in that situation, as you well know, James, for being on a Hollywood set, you have to be professional.
Right. I actually wasn't on a Hollywood set. My film was filmed in the Sports Center.
And you were with T.J. Miller, who it turns out is the most
nuts.
professional.
Was high then was high on Trade Center.
Oh my God.
Had a few issues. He did something at the airport that was not too
on a train. Wasn't he on a train?
He's
on
edgy.
a train, yeah.
TJ's edgy.
Yes.
But that gives me more street cred that I held my own with an edgy character.
It's true.
Very true.
I'm going to have to look that up. I never saw Chicago.
I never saw it either.
Musicals don't do much for me, but I've gotten into them because of my daughter more of late.
I'll say this. It was filmed in Toronto. And it was actually down. My dad used to work for Kodak, and it was down in the old Kodak building.
Really?
Oh, nice.
So that was really nice.
That's really cool.
Sort of coming full circle. So I used to work there as a kid during university as well. But I was on the set, and I have to tell you, when we were doing it, I was like, this is going to be big. Not because I was involved. I mean,
I think you're shortchanging yourself a little bit.
But you know what I mean? Like you could see how hard people were working, and just how Richard Gere's in that movie as well. I never met him, and I missed the day that Lucy Liu was there.
I was in an Ethan Hawke film, which I can't remember the title.
Before Sunrise?
So they stole them. This is where I got ripped off. So Ethan Hawke, no, it was like they did it, I don't even know how to describe it. They kind of made it half animated. Like it was acting, but then they messed up the screen, and so it was some art film, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And they used, I was on SportsCenter back in the day, and without our permission, apparently, they used a clip, like the actors watching TV of SportsCenter, and you never see me, but you hear me doing highlights.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Somebody didn't get a cent for that.
Oh, you didn't?
Scam. Stoff, do you want to be the star, or do you want to be the Oscar winner?
I don't know. That story about touching hands was pretty persuading there, but I'll still go with the lead role.
You guys see, once again, all of you choose the glory and the ego. I choose the art.
It's true.
Well,
Say
again,
goodnight.
we think that this starring role is going to lead us to something else, which will eventually get us there.
We want to be big-time players.
Maybe it's because I've been a starring role already.
That's true.
I sort of live that on a day-to-day basis on the panel.
That's
true.
Like, do you want to be me on the panel, or do you want to be Marty Barone? Just get a few lines every here and there.
Poor Marty. What do you do to anybody?
This or that. You know what's so great is O-Dog started nicknaming Marty Dis or Dat.
Yeah.
And now Marty does a segment called Dis or Dat on Buffalo Radio.
He's got a T-shirt and everything.
Yeah, he does. He has a Dis or Dat T-shirt.
He calls his kid Dis or Dat. Little Dis or Dat.
Speaking of Dis or Dat and popular segments, A-hole or A-OK?
Is it A-hole or is it A-OK?
we spent so much time memorializing people last week. We didn't get in many segments, so I thought we'd squeeze in all of our segments to just get back to the old school today.
It's a smorgasbord of my voice.
We're going to have a rapid-fire A-hole or A-OK, because there's so many of these we can do.
There's a lot of out there, James.
Right, and I may be one. So this was me coming into work today. I'll go first. South on the Don Valley Parkway. Everyone around Toronto will know what that is. Yeah. The 404, actually, before it turns into the Don Valley. For everybody outside of Toronto, just a main highway leading into Toronto. Very busy highway, which intersects with Highway 401. 401 goes east-west across Toronto. The Don Valley goes north-south.
Yes.
There are lanes that flow at that time of day as I was coming into work about noon. And then there's an exit lane to get onto the 401, which is very crowded. Backs up for about a kilometer.
Yes.
My tendency, I will take the fast lane right to the end and then sneak in. Mm-hmm. But I want to quantify this. I don't ever sit there and try to barge in front of somebody. Mm-hmm. I always pick my spots. From about a kilometer away, yes. I look for an 18-wheeler.
That's exactly what I do.
I look for an 18-wheeler. I spot my 18-wheeler because I know the 18-wheelers are slow off the gas. And I spot my 18-wheeler. I time it. And as soon as the cars start moving, there's always a little gap between the car in front of the 18-wheeler. I make my move. I don't disrupt any traffic whatsoever, and I'm in. But I do come in at the very last second, quite often when the lane is already ended. A-hole or A-OK?
That is fine as long as you are willing to continue on past your exit if you can't get in safely.
I would not do that. I would have to stop.
Then you're an See, I'll do stuff like that, but if I can't hit it, then I just go and then I'll do a U-E somewhere.
Okay, but if I stop and I'm in that kind of no zone, I won't cut somebody off. I'll wait till the next truck and I'll take. But you get a lot of people giving you the way by. You're not really blocking anyone. There's a little kind of hole there between.
Yeah, but you're still making it like your time is more important than my time.
I know everybody in back there will be saying A-hole, everybody back in the line. But I guess you are actually slowing traffic down by a few seconds because you're adding volume in front of people who have been waiting. Yeah. But I just feel if you do the seamless move, it's A-OK.
I think it's totally fine, man.
It better be seamless, though.
Because I think the key that you're saying is it's exactly. I'm telling you, man. We're brothers here, man.
Right.
Because I look for the 18-wheeler. You know it's going to take some time for it to get going or gear down.
Right.
It's got to stop. So you pick your spot, slide in, and no problem. Yeah. Nobody's even the wiser. It's like a vehicular chat and cut.
Right. I feel like the other people aren't polite, but they're more suckers.
Well, you know what I mean?
See, now you're starting to really dive into it.
To be honest with you, I think people need to think more like you and I.
Right.
Yeah, but then if everyone was like you, then it'd be chaos.
If everyone did what we did, that would be trouble.
No, I just mean in general.
Yeah.
Like, pick your spots and look at traffic. Look. I don't feel people that drive these days look too far.
Well, that's why I thought we should all get that thing where you could read traffic perfectly.
What did you give up for that?
For your sense of smell.
Didn't you give up your sense of smell for that?
And then you're just reading traffic.
Did you get taking a punch and the ability to read traffic?
I might have taken the punch.
I think it was taking the punch.
Stoff can't answer this question because he's usually pulled over on the shoulder as his car has broken down.
CAA on the way.
Very true. Very true.
You had one?
I had one. Okay. Saturday morning, lying in bed with my girl. You know, kind of.
I drink coffee.com.
You know, that's me.
And I drink coffee.com. Yeah. And we start, I hear, and it's somebody vacuuming at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Vacuuming outside?
Vacuuming in my, so I live in a townhouse.
Oh, okay.
They're on the other side of me, vacuuming.
Okay.
And there's that, and there's also people who mow the lawn. I'm thinking before, so my question is, before 10 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday, vacuuming or doing the lawn.
I think there's an actual rule for contractors, but I think it's 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
So, I mean, I'm a pretty early riser now. I'm not the partier of
yesteryear.
My
2002
yesteryear of the old days. So I would put it at, say, I think that's a fair comment, Lester. I would put it, though, maybe at like 9 a.m. or something like that. 10 a.m. is a little late. I think that's fair.
All right, fair enough. 9 maybe, but
yeah, I understand. I understand your anger. I can tell you my one story on this, which is much worse. This was definitely a-hole. Was in my old neighborhood. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and some guy was sawing, and he had an electric saw on, and I'm like, and I lie there for a while, and I'm like, is there something going on? And I finally had to get up. It was so loud.
Yeah.
Walked down, 3 doors down from me, and the guy was in his garage sawing. And it was the guy, I think I told the story on an earlier episode of the podcast. Remember I told you about the swinger couple?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood?
Yeah.
And the guy was like a really geeky guy who like mowed his lawn with his black socks up to his knees.
Yeah.
And they ended up on the swinger site.
Wow.
It was him. Like, he was a freak. Like, he could have easily had bodies in
That's
there.
the thing. You were a
He was
very
a
brave
Dexter.
person.
Yeah, he
going
was a
there at
Dexter
3:30 in
type
the morning to
character.
sawing sounds.
Yeah, but he had no idea. I'm like, what do you, I can't remember the dude's name, but I'm like, what are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Just doing some sawing in here.
What are you doing? Like, that's
Creepy.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that was. So I'm with you, Lester. I would say, but let's put it at 9 a.m. A-hole if you're doing that.
Yeah, come
especially townhomes and stuff. Come on.
Well, I mean,
although thin walls, that's really not their
The
fault.
walls are that thin.
I think if you
guess-
want to sleep in, be a deep sleeper. Otherwise, live with.
What about if you have a loud sexual mate? And that is disturbing people. Is that fair game?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of fair game. Yeah. Yeah.
You're allowed, right? You can't control yourself.
No,
on
I
that.
think that it should be under the same bylaws.
I think you should try to be respectful. To be honest with you.
We had a guy, and his name in Ottawa. My girlfriend, who became my wife, lived in a house which was 3 levels. So there was an apartment upstairs, downstairs, and then she was on the main floor. And there was a young man named Stephen who lived in downstairs, and Stephen was very prolific. I would see different ladies walking. There was 2 in particular.
Yeah.
That he would had going for about a year.
Wow.
And he pleased them both exceptionally well.
Well,
because I would be, and it would be Stephen, and then the girl had an accent. The other one, Stephen. And
So hold on, this is right above Cheryl's place?
No, this is below Cheryl's place.
Okay.
Yeah, because above there was a guy named Vince, and he was pretty good too. Vince! Except his girl had a very manly voice, so I don't know what was going on up there. But Stephen...
Too much tiger bone, perhaps.
I mean, I couldn't knock him, but it almost made me feel inadequate.
I was going to say.
Because my girl and I would be lying in bed, and I thought I'd done really well, and Stephen would still be like, 45 minutes later, Jesus, Stephen! I'm like, holy crap, Stephen! What is going on? Stephen found the tiger bone long before the rest of us.
Found out years later that the guy had a recording and it was just a loop.
He was trying to impress Cheryl.
That's right.
You were probably like, okay, Cheryl, I think it's time we move in together and take that next step. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's right. What was yours?
Oh, I was at a concert last night, and it was getting near the end of the show, and some fan started a "Go Leafs Go" chant.
Okay.
And the lead singer basically spent the next 5 minutes dressing him down.
So was it between songs?
It was, yeah. He was just setting up for getting. It was probably like 3 songs left in the show. He was getting behind a piano
to do an acoustic.
Do like a little
acoustic.
Yeah,
Sorry. What do you call it when you just do it by yourself at the piano?
Yeah, solo acoustic piano.
Oh, you can say that.
Oh,
okay.
acoustic? Oh, I don't
Say sucker. I knew more.
Hold on, Google. Google, tell me.
Puff, I was in a band. Remember?
I forgot you.
Haul
and Ass.
That's right.
And so the guy started. It didn't go anywhere. No one joined in. And then he's like, totally dressed the guy down. He was just like, "Oh, that's a good time to start that chant."
Who like what show were you saying?
Brian Fallon, lead singer of Gaslight Anthem.
Oh, okay. And where were you?
Danforth Music Hall.
Okay, so that's a big venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So who are you at? Is the A-hole or A-OK the Leafs guy or the singer?
Well, I think it was actually the singer. I thought he went a little bit.
Okay, so that's what you're asking.
Yeah,
Is the singer
like
okay?
to dress down a fan for something like that?
I say A-hole all the way. He's paid to see you play. It's a minute before the song. It's a big time in the city. It's okay. It's okay to wear your little Leafs heart on your sleeve, even if you're not at a Leafs game, and that's fine. Oh, the musician's going to come in and say, "No, we're artists, and you're getting in the way of our preparation to do our artistry."
Well, look, here's the thing. If you want to go to a Leaf game, you want to go to a bar and be a Leaf fan, do that. Don't come to my show when I'm about to sit down and other people around you are waiting for me.
This is exactly basically what he was saying too.
It's like, I wouldn't go into big detail about dressing them down for 5 minutes. I'd just say, hey, listen, have a little respect for the rest of the people, and that's it. People don't. One thing I'll say as a musician, people do not know how to behave when there's live music anymore. they all think that because it's DJ culture is taken over, and most people just think, like I was seeing a friend of mine, Wade O'Brien, I'll shout out to him. He was doing a solo show. He had tracks and everything, but he was doing a solo show. And there were people that were friends of his that were sitting from me to you, James.
Right.
Big table of 8 people, and they're laughing and carrying on. I'm like, shut up. Like, or at least keep it down.
Yeah. Well, I get that part of it, but in this kind of a lull, we should go to a Gravedigger show.
We should.
And we just do
really
all
do.
the chants.
Yeah.
What's the ones they do in Nashville? Lester, Lester, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Stoff, do you want to weigh in on any of those that we didn't let you weigh in on? Any of those a-holes or A-OKs? You think the Leafs chant is all right, even though you'd be doing an Eagles chant?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't want to upset Lester, so I'm going to say a-hole.
That's fine.
I paid good money to see Lester, right? So,
listen, that's what I think. That's what I think.
A couple of updates before we go. First of all, Roddy has not been on the pod for the last couple of weeks. It was my fault last week. Roddy's off this week. So I'm sure it will be like 3 weeks. We were off before that, so it's going to be a month. So Roddy's going to come back, whether he's back next week or the week after.
James, bursting.
Oh, he's going to have so many stories for us, I'm sure, in the Rod Smith recap. Interns, I still have people saying, what the hell happened to our internship applications? Yeah. Now that things have settled down a little bit, and once we get to round 2 of the playoffs, Puffy and I have some time.
Yep.
We will go through the intern. The intern will be for next year, but we will we will award the internship at the end of this season, so the intern can have the summer to prepare.
Absolutely.
They got to buy a Google helmet.
Right. So I promise all you guys, I don't want you to think you wasted your time on the internships. We have not forgotten about the internships. So all of that will happen in the coming weeks on the Rubber Boots pod. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a long one. Sorry for all of you listening who like the little half-hour pod to drive to work. Now you can drive to work 3 times and still be listening to us.
Hopefully you get caught in traffic and you don't pull a James or a Lester.
Thank you to Fandom. Of course, download the Fandom up. Thank you to idrinkcoffee.com. Thank you to Cabot Links, who I'm still going to suck up to for the rest of the year, perhaps. And thank you to our new sponsor, Tiger Bone. Tiger Bone. I don't have a. Maybe we can come up with a catch line for next week.
When you need a little something extra.
Tiger Bone. Don't confuse it with Tiger Bomb. Rubber Boots guy, play us out.
Hey, how are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up. Please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?